one main reason for their defeat was their ignorance, and education became actually a must for every Palestinian. I remember my father telling us, I don't care if you don't eat enough or you don't wear enough clothes, but you all will have education.
Hmm.
And we all luckily graduated.
Well, it
And
sounds like your exodus and movement is similar, to many of the Jews who came to the Palestinian Israel area. That they were always being pushed from one country to another, and the Jews were living in Spain for many years, and then into Poland, and getting pushed out here and pushed there. And I know I heard my father saying, you need to, have your brain stimulated, and you have to be able to carry whatever information you have in your head, because you never know when you might be shoved out of wherever you are.
definitely, well, as refugees, of course, we didn't have a regular government to take care of us, to give us jobs, we don't have a place actually to call our own. As a result, we knew that our only weapon in life is education, good
Because you can
education,
take your brain
and
anywhere.
you can take you never lose it. You learn, you never lose your education.
Right.
You can lose your wealth, you can lose your residence, you can lose anything, but you do not lose your education. It's in your brain and it stays there.
Yeah, so I'd like to encourage everybody to call us, everybody, all at one time. We have one phone, so give us a call. 965-199.
Your radio station is The Voice, 91.5 FM, cable FM 88.7, and worldwide via streaming media at www.sacramento.org.
Yeah, so Akif, could you tell us a little bit about what your reaction has been to this peace process that has been going on for the last 15 days or so, and how you're feeling right now?
I think my reaction is typical of any Palestinian reaction. We felt that we we were pushed into a euphoric kind of situation where we thought that the solution will be solved. But I think that the Israelis came to the negotiations with a mentality that I doubt it was the mentality of really accepting the Palestinians as neighbors. Because if we want peace between the Palestinians and the Israelis, they have to be neighbors. They cannot be, the relation between them cannot be occupier and occupied. And the insistence of Israel to have Jerusalem, to have the settlements surrounding the Palestinian population, to have the Palestinian limited government in the area, what we call Palestine, that was actually colonial mentality. I mean, it's not mentality of a group that came to negotiate in order to have a neighbor. And if we want peace in Palestine, we have to have a kind of neighborly relationship where both sides are equal. There is no upper and lower level. And I don't think the Israelis were ready in the negotiations because
Mm-hmm.
they put conditions that were totally unacceptable to the Palestinians. Uh, as example, making the Jordan River as a defense line for the state of Israel. That means the Palestinians in the West Bank will be prisoners surrounded by the state of Israel on one side and the settlements on the other side. Second, Jerusalem.
Yes, I'd like to really,
Jerusalem.
hear about how is Jerusalem laid out. I've been there, but I don't really have a good picture in my mind of how that city could be divided or couldn't. What are the kind of the dimensions of Jerusalem?
Well, Jerusalem is actually situated right in the middle of Palestine, and there is the old city of Jerusalem where the main holy uh, uh, places are located, and then there is outside the walls the
Of the old city.
expansion of the city, or what we can call the suburbs of Jerusalem. Now, in 1948, that city was divided into two, where the old city of Jerusalem and the eastern part of the suburbs of Jerusalem were were kept under the Arab rule or under the Palestinians, and the western part of Jerusalem was part of the state of Israel. In 1967,
Was the Wailing Wall and the wall?
the Wailing
Where is
Wall
that?
was actually part of the old city, of course. It was
Mm-hmm.
under Jordanian rules. And the Israelis used to go once a week in big caravans, going to the Wailing Wall to pray and then go back. So actually, they were allowed to go
Mm-hmm.
and pray according to that agreement in 1948 under the protection of the United Nations. In 1967, Israel occupied the whole of Jerusalem, and but until now, Jerusalem actually you can consider it um, two portions, two parts. One part is the old city, which is the holy part of Jerusalem, which is considered holy by three religions: Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. And that area is occupied, actually 90% of the population is Palestinian
That lived there,
that live there right now.
but under Israeli
Yes,
occupation.
under Israeli occupation. Outside, there is the eastern part of Jerusalem, which contains the Palestinian population, surrounded with different settlements, especially high on the mountains. Um,
Jewish settlements.
Jewish settlements that are practically like half a circle around the Arabic part of Jerusalem.
So it's like having something looking over on you all the
Exactly.
time.
So every movement is watched. Every movement is seen by the settlements. Um, and the city is already divided. There is the Arab Jerusalem and there is the Jewish Jerusalem. Israel, since '67 until today, never tried actually to integrate the city to be Jewish and Palestinian at the same time. The Jews are living in their areas, and the Arabs are living in their areas.
But the
So,
occupation is
but the
the Jewish
occupation,
occupation is in the east as well as the
the
west.
Jewish occupation, of course, it's basically in the East Jerusalem, where the Palestinians are, and those are the people that are being watched, and they have to have permit to go anywhere. They have to have permit to move to other cities in the West Bank. They have to have special drivers, special license plates on their cars, and things like that. So
It gets searched more often.
they get searched more often, of course, and also their relatives coming to Jerusalem from out of town will have hard time. They need permits to come in, and they are searched, and it depends on the mood of the um, Israeli checkpoint to pass them through or not to pass them through. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, and sometimes you have the cars half a mile long sitting waiting for permit to
Wow.
go into Jerusalem.
Well, right now, we don't need any permits to give a call here at Action Callers and talk to Akif Shabibi and me, Dr. Reva Camiel. And you can call us at 456-5199. And we have no secrets, and we're willing to talk about whatever needs to be talked about so that we can really get educated and really understand, kind of what's going on from right now from a Palestinian's point of view, but a Palestinian who, has very peaceful ideas and really wants to be neighbors and wants there to be peace. And he has been working on peace in the Mideast here in Sacramento for many years, and I've had the opportunity to see him in action and be able to educate people. And so I just feel so honored to have Akif in this community.
Thank you.
So if you want to talk to him, give us a call now at 456-5199. You couldn't talk to a better person. I think he should get the Nobel Peace Prize. I think he'd stop breathing just
Far
then,
from
but
that.
I'm going to put in a nomination. So it's okay. So that's the place that they're stuck right now. Is it the decision making is over Jerusalem?
Actually, there is more than that. There is 3 points: the settlements, the refugees, and Jerusalem. And these 3 points, the Israelis didn't give in into that. See, the problem is that until now, it seems to me that the Israelis go to negotiations thinking that they are giving something. Actually, they are not giving. This is a Palestinian land. This area, these Palestinians lived there in Palestine. The refugees that are in Lebanon or Jordan or in Egypt or wherever they are refugees that ran away during the war and they couldn't go back.
And there were laws to keep them out after
exactly.
they left.
And if there is a law, that's the law of return, that is the basic building block of the state of Israel, states that any Jew can come back to Palestine and become a citizen of Israel instantly, getting a passport. Actually, some of them, even without going to Israel, can become citizens. Yet I, as a Palestinian, born in Jerusalem, grew up there, I cannot go, and my crime is that I am a Palestinian. This is not fair. You cannot have peace with that kind of oppression. Second, that's about the refugees.
I thought in listening to some of the things going on that it sounded like that what seemed to have gotten leaked a little bit, and maybe it's false, I don't know, but that they had reached some agreements about refugees, or that wasn't the stopping point.
That's right. Well, that could be.
Could it be?
When you tie that agreement or that portion of the agreement to the whole thing, and then you come to Jerusalem and say no, that means practically you are canceling the whole, all the items of the agreement. So, because from the beginning, the intention was to have a full agreement that covers all the points. So,
and if any one point didn't get
handled,
the whole, it didn't.
Exactly. That means the whole agreement is null. It's not. It will not be signed, and that's what happened, because they came to Jerusalem and they said, no, Jerusalem will not be divided. You don't have to divide Jerusalem physically. You don't have to divide anything. If you have any, Jerusalem can be Palestinian and Israeli at the same time. It can be easily capital for both if we accept each other as neighbors,
friendly neighbors,
and not as master and follower, or master and controlled,
or enemy.
And I think maybe it's possible that Barak came with that in mind. Maybe the pressure back home changed his mind after he came. I don't know, but the fact is that the Israelis have to come to understanding that they have to accept the Palestinians as neighbors, as partners, but not as controlled part of the population.
Okay, we're going to take a short break right now and be back with you all in just a few moments. And this is a good time to call and get set up so that we can talk to you when we come back. Call us at 456-5199. Thank you.
Community Radio for Sacramento, The Voice.
For the ultimate in contemporary pop and soulful jazz, tune in to the Sophisticated Jazz Show with our very own, the suave Elwood J. Tuesday evenings from 6 to 8 p.m. and every Wednesday morning from 6 to 8 a.m. at 91.5 on your FM dial. The Sophisticated Jazz Show. It's more of what you're listening for.
Do you have dreams?
Do you have goals? Everyone does.
No matter what race or color they are.
Talk to each other.
Listen to each other. Sure, we're all different.
But we're also all the same.
Understand the similarities.
Respect the differences.
Help end prejudice in your lifetime. Call 1-800-934-3430 or log on to www.whitehouse.gov. Together, we can build one America in the 21st century. Brought to you by the President's Initiative on Race, the Leadership Conference Education Fund, and the Ad Council.
Why is it we never hear about the good things kids do?
Top stories. Two teenagers are accused of drug-related...
The newspaper reports show that 65% of adults have a negative opinion of teenagers.
A shootout downtown leaves 4 teenagers dead today.
It's time for teenagers to get noticed for doing something right. Get involved in crime prevention in your community. Tutor, mentor, volunteer, and let's start proving everybody wrong by doing something right. Call 1-800-722-TEENS.
A public service message brought to you from the Crime Prevention Coalition of America, the U.S. Department of Justice, and the Ad Council.
Let me tell you a story about the Cable Foundation. It's not just a place, just for fun and recreation, but you learn neat things about cable TV. And for radio, that's the place to be. You get hands-on instruction each and every class. And if you're there every time, yes, I know that you'll pass it. Because there's things you ought to know to produce your own show. And if you're like me, that ought to be your goal. That's right, the Sacramento Cable Foundation, a non-profit organization. If you'd like more information on class schedules and training, just dial 456-8600. Sacramento Cable Foundation, where dreams come true.
Sacramento's Community Radio, The Voice. The Voice is 88.7 Cable FM and KYDS 91.5 FM Sacramento.
And welcome back to Action Callers, and I'm Reva Camiel, your host and action coach. And I'm here with a wonderful guest, Akif Shabibi, who is a Palestinian American, who is a peacemaker, I believe, excellence here in Sacramento. And I think what he's done in this city is remarkable, and working with other people in a group called the Mid-East Peace Project. And maybe you'd like to talk a little bit about the Peace Project and what we're up to right now, and some of the places where people could go to even learn more and in detail. Akif?
Well, the Middle East Peace Project started actually in about 1988, 89, when a group of Palestinians and Jews and other Americans also participated. We gathered, and there was a chance of bringing some kind of art exhibit to Sacramento. That art exhibit was with a name, It's Possible. They mean by that the peace is possible. That was an art exhibit composed of the works of 12 Palestinian artists and 12 Israeli artists, and
it was a wonderful exhibit.
Yes,
yes. What was it? At the Himovitz Gallery.
Yeah. Yes, it lasted one whole month. We
About
had
how many
movies.
people?
We have thousands of people actually that visited the gallery at that time, and we had movies, and we ended it also with a big gathering, dinner gathering, where many people from the Jewish and Palestinian and the community of Sacramento.
We ate a lot of good food, as I think I remember.
There was a lot of food, yes. But the achievement is that it was the first time to draw the attention of the possibility of Palestinians and Israelis getting together to solve problems. and that it doesn't always have to be by a shooting gallery, by these artists really started something at that time, and practically we followed their steps, and we believe that we can do something here because the United States is playing a very major role in the Middle East.
You know, at that time, I recall it was a time where if I spoke out saying, gee, it's good to get together with people who are different than I am and who have different point of views, it was looked upon as something revolutionary and dangerous and that kind of thing. And it's amazing, and it didn't seem possible at that time, even with what was going on in the United States among American Jews and Palestinians, that we could even talk here, you know. And so that art exhibit really did start something, and it's made a big difference. And this coming Sunday, there's an event you might want to mention, or I could mention, either one. There's going to be a speaker. Her name is Amira Haas. And not only is she going to speak, but she's going to bringing a film that's been playing at the Jewish Film Festival in San Francisco. In fact, there is a wonder. I was there for one day this past weekend. The Jewish Film Festival. It'd really be good for anybody to go if you want to get to know all the different parts of the Jewish community about Orthodox Jews and how they live in film, and the Palestinians. I saw a great film of women making decisions about having some rituals about getting older, and they're just some wonderful ones. And some of those films are going to be repeated this weekend in Berkeley. So if any of you can get to Berkeley this weekend, do that. And one of the films Amira is bringing is playing at the film festival this coming Sunday. And she's bringing that film here to Sacramento, and it's going to be, the name of the film is Diogenes Ansar, Ansar 3. And you could, and also I think there's an Arab film festival, and it's about a documentary on the desert prison camps erected by Israel during the Intifada, and it's for one night. And Amira Haas will be visiting here in Sacramento at the Southside Park Co-Housing Dining Room, and it's at the corner of T and 5th. And we're going to have a great potluck, and you can come and join us. Bring some food, whatever. You can bring your own ethnic foods, and all kinds are good to bring. And there will be a video. That'll be at 5 o'clock, and then there'll be a video at 6:15. And after the video, Amira Haas will talk about the film and answer questions. And she'll be signing a book that she has written. And her book is called Drinking the Sea at Gaza, and it's an account of her experience when she became a journalist in Gaza for the newspaper Haaretz during the 1980s Intifada. So she should be a very, and she lived in a refugee camp during that time, and I believe she is Jewish, yeah?
She's Jewish, yes.
Jewish, yeah. And so she has a special point of view, having been a Jew living in a camp. So any of you that want to come, please feel free to do that. You can call at 446-5066 for more information, or 961-2004. Did you want to say something more about that, Akif, about the event on Sunday?
Well, this is a potluck. Actually, we have one potluck every quarter, every 3 months, and we bring speakers that are in tune with what we think, that believe in coexistence between the Palestinians and the Israeli and the Jews in Palestine, and of course, in a fair and just manner. And Amira Haas is one of them. By the way, in addition to that, there might be also a
that's right.
Palestinian newsman named Hamdi Faraj. He is going to be here at the same time. So there will be an Israeli journalist and a Palestinian one.
Yeah, and so if you want to talk to us right now and ask more questions about this, give us a call at 456-5199. We do want to hear from you.
Yeah, even if you don't have time to come for the potluck itself, you can come
for the film
for the film or
discussion
at 6:15 instead of 5 o'clock.
But I can't imagine anybody wanting to miss one of our potlucks.
No, I think.
And I don't think there's any charge, is there?
No, there is no charge. We don't charge anything. Just an educational thing. That's what we have to do.
So right now, what is your greatest hope?
Well, actually, I am disappointed and I don't know what to hope for because Barak is going and his government is weakening. Arafat is going. Of course, he didn't achieve anything. Both are going to people, especially the Palestinians. They are really frustrated. They see the problem and the crisis is in the Palestinian area and not the Israeli area.
Yeah, they're the ones who are living in the camps. They're the ones who can't move around.
They have no economy. They have no government. They have no structure that can make life a little bit easier. And again, another extension. They had the same, of course, euphoric feeling when the Oslo agreement took place, but not much happened. The economy is still bad. There is still unemployment. There is still the universities and schools always have to have some kind of aid from outside because the economy cannot support all that, and they are looking forward for a government of their own and a state of their own where they can handle each their own affairs.
What is Arafat doing? I mean, what kind of government has he beginning government set up, or what is going on there? Is there a beginning of an infrastructure?
Well, of course, the Palestinians are starting to make what it looks like a government, except that the limitations that are imposed on them make that government practically just an image of a government, because that government cannot build an economy. They
can't start businesses or anything like that?
In a very limited manner, because still again there is no freedom of movement. They cannot go outside. They cannot import and export without the blessings of the Israeli government. They cannot people cannot travel back and forth. For example, all their borders is along Jordan, for example, and Syria. They cannot export and import easily things. They can sometimes import agricultural products, but even that is very slow, and many times these agricultural products get spoiled before they reach their destination. So still the things, the structure of a government is not there, and it's very hard with the limitations that is imposed on them by the Israelis.
You know, thanks for that. We have a caller, Catherine, and Catherine, are you there? And can you hear us?
Yes, I'm there. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I can't hear them.
You can't hear me? Can you hear me? Hello? Are you there? Hello? Are you there, Catherine? Uh-oh.
Is she talking?
Can't hear Catherine. Yes, hi, Catherine.
you
Are
hear
you
me?
still there? I can hear you. Hello?
Wrong.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Catherine? Hello? We had you for a split second. Where are you? Please hang on, and we'll. Steve is our engineer, and
Okay, I have
Diane,
a question.
our.
Can you hear me
Can we
now?
hear you now? Hello? Are you there? Your little voice comes in just for a second and then leaves real fast. Yeah, the other mic? Hello, Catherine, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. The question is, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Great. I was interested in what you anticipate the next step will be now that the talks are over with and everyone's gone home. What do we expect to happen next? Certainly it won't be put on the shelf, this Mideast crisis.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Akif, if you want to answer that?
I don't think it can be put on the shelf. I hope that there will be no violence because frustration always develops into violence, and I hope, like what happened in Tel Aviv.
What happened in Tel Aviv?
Well, when sometimes a bus would be blown or something like that, and
a bombing or something.
I really hope that the disappointment doesn't go for long, because people cannot stay oppressed forever. They revolt, and they revolt in many different manners. And my hope is that they go on, and Barak would change his mind and something would happen.
Mm-hmm. Do you think, in reading the paper, the Sacramento Bee, today, it kind of it said to me in the newspaper that, that it was Barak who was being very generous, and it was Arafat who wasn't willing to make any changes and wouldn't accept anything.
Your radio station is The Voice, 91.5 FM, cable FM 88.7, and worldwide via streaming media at sacramento.org.
Okay, so what is your sense of that?
Well, again, we go back to the same subject. They say Barak was generous. It's so easy to be generous, to give something that doesn't belong to you. Barak being generous, that to give the Palestinian half a bite of their own food. That's what's going on. And I really was disappointed when Clinton said that Barak was more flexible than Arafat or something like that. Arafat is demanding what is his right. He wants a country of his own. The Palestinian wants a government of their own. They want to be independent, and Barak has to get away from the mentality of occupation, of that we use these people to defend ourselves, or the excuse of using the security of Israel is getting too much on the nerves, actually, on the Palestinians, because also the Palestinians are worried. They have next to them Israel with her huge army. It's considered the sixth strongest army in the world, with all what it has of arms, including atomic arms, and they don't have anything. So also they are worried about their security and safety. So let's not use that. Generosity doesn't come out when you give something that doesn't belong to you.
Okay, very well stated, and something for us to really think about. And when we read the paper, to kind of think of some of those things, and maybe even write letters to our editor. So what would you think would be some actions for people that are listening, and for all of us to take that can be, if we're not part of an organization, how can we become part of an organization? If we want to do something, what are some of the kinds of things that you might suggest that individuals can do after hearing you today? What would be a very good step to take? that might be effective
Well,
in the long run?
Palestine is an important part for all of us as Palestinians, as well as Muslims, as Christians, as Jews. If it is that way, then we want it to be in peace. We want their people living in peace with each other. And we as Americans, we have a role to play, and a very important one. And if we keep siding with one side against the other, that doesn't help. To come and say Barack was generous and the Palestinians were not. Palestinians don't have anything to give. They lost everything. They don't have a country. They don't have a structure. They don't have a government. They don't have independence. They don't have an army even to defend themselves. So they don't have anything to give. Everything was taken from them. And Barack being generous, he's not being generous giving what is not his. But if we want, as Americans, to be effective, we have to push our government to have a really neutral position and try to be as much as we can fair with the Palestinians, because they are the ones that are oppressed. It's not the Israelis. If the Jews are asking Germany until today to pay compensations to what happened to them 60 years ago, I think the Palestinians have rights also. Those who left their houses, those who left their land, those whose land was confiscated, they have also the same right. So we cannot make fairness or justice have different colors depending on different kind of population.
So would you think letters to congressmen, to our mayor, or what do you think?
I think it's important really to encourage organizations that push for peace in the Middle East, like our organization or any other. There are many organizations, I'm sure, in different cities in the United States. Also, we have to show our congressmen that we are interested. We can call even the president. There is a telephone for the White House.
And email.
And email. We can send and talk to them and tell them that we want, as country, to be neutral, to be fair, and also to keep pushing for peace in that area. We cannot take sides, because that doesn't do anything but promote violence, and it will give no result and no peace.
Yeah, so speak up and talk to people and have your friends call and write to the government and to the president and encourage him to keep on pushing for mediation and for seeing what some of the major problems are.
Exactly, and you don't
join
have
organizations. Come on Sunday to the meeting at 5 o'clock, and let's break bread together. And we'd love to see you. And right now we're getting ready to close, and I do want to thank you so much, Akif, for being here. You are a joy to have here, and to be in my community. It's really a pleasure. And at this time, I also would like to tell you about a few other people who are make this program happen and who work really hard to make this program work. And I just would like to mention the names of 3 of our volunteers who have graciously and earnestly committed themselves to bring you this show. And sometimes things work and sometimes they don't. And I'd like to thank Steve Baylog, who is he's a transportation professional, and he's a fledgling radio engineer who's learning to keep action callers on the airwaves. And he says he has the desire to try something new and wants to help people know what they can do to make a difference in the world around them. So as he sits here moving those the sounds up and down and in and out and giving me signs of when it's to break, he makes me feel really relaxed and safe in here. And we have also another radio volunteer engineer who's here every other week, and that's Michael Geller. And Michael's a workers' comp attorney who gives his time to a few hours every week to keep this show on the air. And then, of course, there is our third volunteer is Diane Matar, who's our hostess with the mostest, and you'd know if you'd called. And she'll be the person on the telephone line when you call in. And I want to invite you, our interactive listeners, to call with suggestions of people you know who have made a difference in their community. And community is a very broad as well as a very personal word. Community might be your own next-door neighbor's messy yard, or it could be ending hunger in the world. A project can be a one-hour project or one that might involve you for the rest of your life. I know this problem is one that I committed to work on for the rest of my life. Remember, you can be one of our in-studio guests, or you can be a call-in guest with a project or an idea or a complaint that you want to turn into action. You can leave us messages at 456-5199, or you can email me at actioncallers@hotmail.com. And this is a state-of-the-art program where we'll use every form of communication, written or spoken, to become seekers of solutions for the many problems that face our planet. Be part of the solution rather than being part of the problem. Action Callers will be ongoingly created by all of us, you included. We will use the messes in our life to get some semi-well-ordered solutions. And in that process, we make new friends and we enrich our life so. And so I want to thank again Akif Shabibi for being here. And I know people in all cities all over the United States have similar projects like the Mideast Peace Project. And we'd like to hear from all of you, any of you from all over the United States and the world with your projects. So tune in next week and August 2nd at 6 p.m. for more great ideas for change in our community. We were going to have as our guest Susan Gallagher, who's the Executive Director of the Mental Health Association of Sacramento Placer. And she will share with us some of the effective new projects that they've recently introduced to the community. The Mental Health Association was a program that I was on the boards, maybe 10 years ago, and I had great time being creative and suggesting ideas that took off, and it was really fun. So I think you'll enjoy hearing from Susan Gallagher and probably one of her volunteers or one of the people from the that is working on new projects. Also, there's a very important meeting this coming Saturday, July 29th. The Sierra Club called today to say, let's pack the convention center with people who want to keep the lumber industry from rolling back some of the laws that were created to protect our forests and our mountains. And so they really need all of us to be there. It's going to be at the convention center in room 310, and you can go anytime from 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock, and you can call for more information at 557-1100. And there's also going to be a great program on cancer care, going to be at the Sutter Cancer Center on August the 9th from 6:30 to 8:30, and it's new developments in cancer care with Dr. Robert Najerney. And he's going to be introduced by Senator Deborah Ortiz. And so there are a lot of great things going on in this little river city, and it's a pleasure to be part of this community where there are so many volunteers. And I look forward to hearing from every one of you. And for now, I say goodbye, and goodbye to Akif and to all our volunteers and to you too. Yeah, it's been great. Thank you, Akif.
Thank you.
Sacramento's alternative choice is The Voice.